The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/expat2020. Hey everyone, this is The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 16. I'm your host, Expat2020, along with my co-host Dan. Dan the Retro Man. How you doing today, man?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I am a little tired today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was walking around doing some electronic store shopping, and I actually ran into the Yodobashi camera, which is, one of the biggest electronic store chains here in Japan. And they had boxes of Xbox Series X's lying around. So I happened to pick one up.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, I was really surprised because a few weeks ago, the staff there was telling me that, there was pretty much no chance in hell that they were going to get any stock in after all the pre-orders. But apparently, they told me that a big shipment came in this morning, so I got really lucky. So, but PlayStation 5's nowhere to be found.
Obviously,
I mean, go ahead. Yeah,
no, go on. Yeah, sorry, finish story.
Yeah, so they had one display in the PS5 in the display case.
Yeah,
but that's all. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I asked, when do you have any kind of rough ideas to when they're going to show up? They have no idea. No idea.
Well, it's because
I'm imagining probably maybe in December. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and because the gaming market, as good as it is still on its arse in Japan. And I read that Sony's been diverting units to the rest of the world. So they've taken like Japanese stock and, they've taken stock that was allocated for Japan and they've moved it to the States and Europe because the demand is even higher here. So
and it's like next week is the Europe launch.
It is, 17th, right? Something like that. So Wednesday, something? I don't know, Tuesday or whatever.
Actually the 19th.
19th, yes, it's midweek, but I can honestly, I've got a crystal clear image in my mind of like Yodobashi, like being split in two, having a green side and like a white blue side, and the white blue side being desolate, and the Xbox side just being absolutely rammed with stock that isn't as popular because it's a dirty foreign machine.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that. I don't know, man. I think they had a lot of pre-orders, I think, but I think today, like the guy was telling me that they got a big shipment in this morning, and so they had like a bunch of boxes sitting out there. So, behind the service counters. Right. So I got lucky. I was going in there thinking that there's no chance in hell I'm going to be able to pick up either a PS5 or a Series X, but I got lucky. So
but you made the wrong choice and went for it anyway. So that's good.
No, I think I made the right choice for the moment. I mean, because there's no PS5s, so I was going to get a Series X anyway. So anyway. Okay, so before we jump into what we're playing this week, I want to tell everyone out there that you can head over to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify. Just download your favorite podcast app and open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Also, if you'd like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free, along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. And this last week, I posted a message on Patreon, which I threw up on Twitter as well. So all of you, please take a look at that. That gives some information about what we're planning for next year and what we're going to be doing in January. Okay. So you can also find us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP. That's a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Finally, the podcast will be uploaded to my YouTube channel at Expat 2020 Gaming, so you can go there to listen and subscribe and click that notification bell for future podcast episodes, and also leave any comments or questions you might have that we might read on a future episode.
Yay.
So, Dan, what have you been playing this week?
I have been playing Judgment like it's my job. Like I've been, it's long. It's good. It's long. I quit for a while because it really, really upset me. But I went back to it with a renewed fervor, and I'm at the final. I'm at the finale now, so I'm going to finish that this morning after this call. Hopefully, that's it. It's actually quite good. But you notice that the Yakuza series, and to all the fans out there, I apologize. They're all the same game. You stick around for the narrative because mechanically, I mean, I've played. This is the third. I mean, there's like 8-9 games in the series now. This is the third that I've played, third or fourth. And yeah, it hasn't changed since the PS2 much. But that's not necessarily a detriment. I've still enjoyed it, but
so like the combat system too is pretty similar, right?
It essentially hasn't changed. It's a weak attack, a strong attack, and you do power-up moves once you've filled your energy bar. Right. Pick up a bicycle and insert it into a burly gentleman. That's pretty much the entire game. But that's not a bad thing. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. But it's been good. It's been good. What you been playing?
Yeah, and you can walk into some Don Quixotes. Yeah,
you can. Actually, in this one, there's loads of stuff that's actually real. I mean, I don't know. I can't really well, okay. But in this one, there's a lot of real world stuff. A lot of real Japanese brands and chains and restaurants that have actually been in this. Like you come out of your office and there's a giant Pizza La poster. So you're like, oh, okay, that's there's lots of it is real. So it's interesting, and like real world people are in there as well, playing themselves. It's good. Anyway, yeah,
awesome. Yeah. For all you listeners out there that don't know what like a Pizza La is, it's like a restaurant chain or pizza restaurant chain, kind of like Domino's. Where you can order, takeout pizza. And Don Quixote is a chain of, what would you call it, Dan? Kind of like
bloody hell,
used goods and things like that.
It's everything. It's freaking everything under one roof. They are They are brilliant. I mean, I urge, if you're in Japan, go to them because they're phenomenal. They're kind of like everything's discount.
Discounted, like used goods, new goods, everything.
Yeah. So, that's good.
Good stuff. Yeah. So I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I was playing it on Xbox One X, and I have to say that the graphics, just to me, don't seem as good as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Maybe the enhanced version on the Series X will be better. Since I got my Series X, I'm going to fire it up after the podcast and start installing everything. And I'm going to get Assassin's Creed Valhalla on smart delivery and start playing the advanced or enhanced version where I left off on the Xbox One X. But the story is interesting. And what's really cool about the game, and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, of course, you get the opportunity to select whether you want to be a male Eivor or a female Eivor. Well, just in the first 30 minutes of the game, you get that selection, but then in the middle, you also get one other choice, and that means let the Animus decide. So basically, let the Animus decide whether you're going to play as part of the game as a female Eivor or part of the game as an male Eivor. And so once I selected that middle let the animus decide choice, I started as a young adult female Eivor. And so I've been playing as her for the first 5-6 hours. And it's really interesting. You play about 5 or 6 hours of the game, and then you finally get through the prologue.
Yeah.
So it's the game is going to be massive. I mean, now I'm at the point in the game now we're about to sail off to England.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just fighting a bunch of other Viking factions and clans, and then you make the decision. Okay, we're gonna leave, and we're gonna head out to England for so-called greener pastures. But the story's really good. It's interesting. The combat system, it's very Assassin's Creed. You know, sneak up, assassinate, jump off a roof and assassinate someone.
Yeah.
Climbing is the same. And like I was saying about the graphics, I mean, the climbing up walls, or like I should say, climbing up mountains and mountain ranges. The mountains look like mud.
Well, that was going to be my question actually, because like you said, the graphics. But I was thinking, well, the whole point of it is it's supposed to be quite drab and dreary, isn't it? Isn't it just the color palette that's influencing you? Because I suppose, like the Odyssey game is very bright and vibrant, Mediterranean. So
yes,
bright sunshine, harsh light on everything. So that light would illuminate detail. But I figured
it doesn't do that in this game. Not yet.
But is that graphical choice, or is that art style choice? When you say the graphics are bad, but is it just the world design that's bad itself?
It might be a mixture of both. I don't know. I mean, being in like in Norway, I mean, it's mostly like a bluish, and white snowy range. So the color palettes, it might be a mixture of both. I don't know. Once I sail out and get to England, maybe things change. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
yeah.
And more about the whole flip-flopping character. Again, I'm confused. So why is that a thing, and what difference does it make? And do you think that letting the animus decide is like a lazy way of the devs giving you a cross-section of both? I don't know. This seems odd.
It could be. But I'm so early in the story yet, maybe there is a reason for it. I mean, I have run into the modern day assassin. Her name's, I think, Layla. And she gets out of the animus at one point. But I don't know. That's a good question. And I'll be able to answer that in a future podcast. But maybe it deals with the storyline. The reason why you have to switch between a male Eivor and a female Eivor. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, having two separate characters, a male and a female character, that makes sense. But having one character who can just flip between the two seems... it seems... maybe I'm being cynical, but it seems just kind of like pandering.
Yeah.
Like to... like to maybe encourage like women to play, or people who want to play as female characters. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll look forward to hearing what you have to say about that.
Yeah.
Because... it's interesting.
Okay, so let's get to the news beat. So it's a kind of a slow week this week, but first of all, just want to talk about the Xbox Series X and Series S and the PS5 launches. So Dan, did you see some of these stories on social media, especially the one about the Series X? Someone was vaping.
Yeah.
And
making
vaping
it look like it was on fire. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like how far can people go? I mean, it's just ridiculous, man.
There's no limit to human stupidity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then the one guy on the PS5 side of things, he ordered a digital version of the PS5, and when he got it delivered to his house, he opened up the box and he had a disc version. Nice. He had an optical version.
Lucky boy.
Yeah, just think what percentage of people did that actually happen to? Probably 0.001%. So
that's wacky.
But I mean, so far, I guess a lot of the experiences with the new consoles have been, relatively, okay, I guess you could say. But some people have had some connectivity issues, and especially people that have slow internet connections.
Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know how crap Microsoft's online stuff is. Like you were saying about setting up your Xbox Series One X, XS.
Xbox Series X.
New Xbox. But you say that, but you won't be playing that until tomorrow, and this we both know.
Yeah, maybe. I
don't know. But it's still way too early to tell. I mean, there's only been a couple of reported hardware issues. I think one review PS5 has died. There was an article in the news, in the UK news, about some guy who bought an Xbox and it was defective. Like, sorry, that was news. Like, I bought something that didn't work, and there's a picture of him looking forlorn holding his Xbox. It's like, piss off. Like, how is this news? Imagine if you bought a toaster and it didn't work. You go, I'm going to bring up the bloody local newspaper and go, I bought a toaster, doesn't work. Oh, we'll send out a photographer immediately. It's like, what the frig? Who cares? Unbelievable. Anyway, sorry. That was
no. And just millions of people like putting their pictures of, their new Xboxes and new PlayStations and stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's great and all, but man, whatever.
One thing I do really like about the new Xbox, right? It's the perfect size to rest a GameCube on.
Yeah.
The XY dimensions are it's the same width and height, width and length as a GameCube. So you can dump it on top, and it's perfectly sits on it.
It would be two GameCubes, basically.
Yeah, so you can
standing on top of each other.
Yeah, so you can have a really nice quality console sat on top of a new Xbox. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like staring at my Series X right now. That's on the table here. Yeah, you just put two GameCubes, and it would match the height. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, but it's funny how some people I were talking to, they're talking about the days of old, and you can relate to this, Dan, being a retro gamer, about the days of like Dreamcast and like the days of the Nintendo 64, for example. You didn't have those internet connectivity issues. You could just throw the games in, those launch day games on cassettes and whatever, and cartridges, and
don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel bad for people that have like slow internet connections. Hopefully, in the next 5 or so years, that'll be taken care of.
I guess. Because they're like, the UK is not as bad. We've got a couple of dodgy spots, but in the US, aren't there like whole spots, like essentially the center of the country is like running on frigging phone lines still?
Yeah, the Midwest. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You're still using frigging AOL and dial-up, and it's like, on dial-up, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah, well, here in Japan, it's the same. Like, you go into the rural areas, the countryside, it's the internet. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Whereas, in the major cities, it's
oh my god,
good internet connections.
Yeah, it was friggin' amazing.
Yeah. So because I live in a city area, I might actually be able to play something tonight.
Yeah, no.
Who knows?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's go on to just after our show last week, actually, we were discussing N7 Day.
Yeah.
Because November 7th was, of course, Mass Effect Day. And we got news of the Mass Effect Remaster Trilogy coming in 2021. So basically, we're going to have Mass Effect 1, which came out in 2007, Mass Effect 2, which came out in 2010, and Mass Effect 3 in 2012. Those are going to be bundled together in a package. And as you were saying, Dan, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda will not be included in this.
No, they want to bury that shit. That stuff. You'll never hear about that game again. That's been scrubbed from canon, unfortunately. But
in that news, they did announce there is a new Mass Effect game being developed. So My question to you is, do you think it will have anything to do with the original 3 games, or do you think it will be something based on Andromeda?
They've announced, when they made the announcement, they said, they made it very, very clear that no one involved in Andromeda is getting anywhere near this friggin' game. They said, we're using core, old school people, established people who weren't in the first 3 to do this. So, no, it won't even get referenced. They won't even, because they have like loads of codec and loads of lore in the game. There's lots of readings to do in Mass Effect games. There will be nothing. There will be no connection to anything that happened in Andromeda.
Oh, let's see.
Purge.
So it'll probably be some completely new story then.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Because 1, 2, and 3, 3 was a bit poo. Let's not deny it. 3, the story in 3 was an utter abomination. Absolutely ruined the first 2 games. But obviously, so it'll be a new protagonist as well. So Mass Effect 4 will be about new people. But yeah, I'm excited. Should be good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's in the future, like, the future after Andromeda, like maybe 100 years, 200 years or something like that.
Yeah,
later.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it will be coming out on it's kind of weird I'm saying this now, current gen consoles for Xbox Series X and Series S, and also for PS5, as well as the last gen consoles for PS4 and Xbox One, and for PC in spring of 2021.
Yeah.
So exciting times. Yeah, looking forward to that. So which leads us into, actually, we are combining the retro topic of the week this week with the topic of the show. So, because this week we're discussing remasters. Okay, so the retro topic of the week is remasters, and that is our topic of the show. So, Dan, take it away. There was some news about 13, right?
If you remember last week, when you were doing the run through, was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week. The run through of games coming out this week.
Yep.
I got super excited because 13 was coming out. Yep. X11113.
X111. Yep.
I was super excited about that. So I pre-ordered it, secure in the knowledge that, well, this is a game that already exists and I've played it. All they're doing is making it look nice, and they're re-releasing it on the PS4. And lo and behold, I order the game, and like the next freaking day, people are like, this really sucks. I've seen nothing but bad press. And in fact, this very morning, I wake up on my news feed. The people who made the game have issued an apology for how broken and crap the game is. Like, my grand plan was tonight, I was gonna announce on this very podcast, I was gonna say, hey everyone, I'm gonna live stream on Twitch my initial play of 13. Come and watch me play. And there's no frigging way that's happening now. I'm not even going to take.
I was going to say real quick. Yeah, one of my Twitter followers, he was as excited as you were about this game.
Yeah,
and then he loaded it up, and he's like, "God, the sound is crap.
Everything about it is crap.
Everything about the game, yeah." But he was saying, I think it was yesterday, he put out a tweet that said that there were patches. Supposedly, but
well, that was one
he
of the things.
Was not happy as well.
No, that's one of the things they said this morning. Like, the day one patch is coming, and it's like, well, day one was 2 days ago.
Yeah,
that's frustrating. But my big plan was to have all of our beloved listeners come join me on Twitch tonight. But I'm not even going to unwrap it until the patches are done. The people who made the game published a list of everything that's wrong with it. It's friggin' long.
I bet.
And again, like you said before about the good old days, which were objectively better, subjective both. It's bad. And it reminded me actually the episode that I wasn't on, and you had the 2 guests.
Nerdy Jane and Burly Min Gaming. Yes.
Yeah, like Nerdy Jane said, like, I think it was that episode. Lady Jane said the best thing that happened to video games was broadband. And I think it was that episode. One of them, anyways. A female guest said the best thing that happened to video games was broadband.
Yeah, because we were discussing like the best generation of games. So
and like I've kept this quiet, but you couldn't be more wrong if you tried. Broadband. I'm going to say a bad word now.
Nerdy Jane, if you're out there listening, we love you.
We love you, but you couldn't be more wrong if your life depended on it. Broadband fucking ruined gaming. Unequivocally. I'm not even discussing this with anyone. Broadband ruined gaming. When broadband came along, devs realized that it doesn't matter. We don't have to sell complete games anymore. We can just sell 80% of the game done, and then we'll patch the rest out later somewhere down the line. Securing the knowledge that everyone now had these lovely big internet connections, so downloading a 10, 20, 60 gig patch wasn't a thing anymore. A 60 gig patch is unacceptable. Anyway, that's a completely different thing. But so I'm gutted. Absolutely gutted. But no, broadband ruined gaming. Fight me. I'll see you in the comments.
Asterisk Dan's rant.
These views do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast, etc. Yeah, I'm right though. I'm absolutely right. So that's a shame.
So my question for you, Dan, about like remasters and stuff. I mean, do you think the reason why the industry is churning out so many of them is because there's a lack of creativity out there these days, and like lack of imagination in the industry at the moment when it comes to developing games? Do you think that's why we're seeing a lot of these remasters, or is it just the money issue? They know they can pump them out and people are just going to continue to buy them.
No, I mean, if so I think the ratio of like remakes is actually quite small, to be honest with you. If you took like a year's release and you picked out the ones that actually were remakes and remasters, I think it'd be proportionally quite low. I think if literally there was a glut, like everyone was just re-releasing loads of old stuff, I think that would be the case, that there's a lack of imagination and a lack of creativity. But
wouldn't you agree, though, that this past generation, there were a lot more than the generation before that, I think?
Yes, I can agree, especially if you look at the early-ish to mid-days of the PS4, we saw a lot of these things come out. We saw, like, Shadow of the Colossus. Well, Shadow of the Colossus was a remake, not a remaster, so that's kind of different. Yeah. But we saw, like, Ico getting HD remakes in the PS3 days.
Well, The Last of Us, yeah.
Yeah, well, see, I take issue with this, because The Last of Us, I don't believe is a remake or a remaster. I think games that because that game straddled a generation.
Yeah. Same with GTA 5. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the GTA 3 on the GTA 5 on the PS3 and the PS4. Yeah. Again, I don't subscribe to that being a remaster. In that it straddled a console generation, so they were kind of like being made at the same time, ostensibly.
Would you agree about the Master Chief Collection for the, for example, Xbox One that came out? That would have been, I think, one of those types of remaster situations.
Yeah.
As opposed to like The Last of Us or like GTA 5. Yeah. Because you have like every single game basically, except for Halo 5. You can scrap that. But ODST, Halo 1, 2, 3, and now Halo 4, which we're going to be talking about in the new game releases. It's coming out for PC.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, those are, I think, legitimate remasters in that sense that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're good. I mean, that makes perfect sense. When you've got a colossal series, like, well, not a colossal series, but a series that has a substantial amount of issues in it, of bloody hell, I can't speak. But anyway, like, there's enough games in that to warrant having that. So it's like when it came out, it only came out with the core games. It's like 1, 2, and 3, right?
Well, 4 came out with it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then ODST was added later.
Yes, you could buy ODST, and can you buy Reach for it now? I'm pretty sure you can, right? Is Reach part of it? Yeah,
Reach is the newest edition. Yes.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That's an incredibly worthy remaster.
And how about BioShock? The BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite.
I mean, see, this is where we get into the idea of, like you were saying, like about how it is just easy money. Master Chief Collection, that isn't a lazy cash grab, because a phenomenal amount of work went into MCC. It's pretty obvious if you load it up and play it, and all the extra supplementary material are made for it, and extra CG cutscenes to link the games together. That's a phenomenal undertaking. Whereas
and if I'm not mistaken, the Master Chief Collection is on Game Pass also. So
brilliant.
Yep.
More importantly, though, stuff like BioShock, that kind of, I mean, that is a remaster in a pure sense. At which point they just took the game and kind of upscaled it and re-released it. Yeah. They bundled all the DLC in. I don't think there's any other additional content. So you could argue, but then again, I mean, part of it is like, is obviously it's an easy way to make money. It's a pretty cheap way when you're doing it that way. When you literally just upscale the graphics and re-release it on other systems, that is a pretty easy way to make money. But it's like really good. People who are new to it and have only heard about it, they get a chance to play all 3 games at a pretty decent-ish price.
Well, not on other systems, but on PlayStation, especially the Final Fantasy VII. That's a good example of a way to cash grab. A lot of people are playing that. A lot of people are buying it, and they're putting it into segments, like parts.
Yeah.
Like the part 1 came out, then part 2 is going to come out sometime next year, maybe. But
now the problem with that is that's not a remaster.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. It's a remake.
Yeah, it's a remake. Which is which again is an interesting topic in itself. I mean, we should probably blur the two together because there's actually the line itself is pretty damn blurred between those two. Yeah. Like there's some controversy around how to correctly describe the Mario 3D All Stars, because it's a quality mix. Well, it's mostly emulation, which makes it neither a remake or a remaster, because most of the game is just straight up emulation, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, so the Crash Bandicoot series, that's a remaster, I think, right?
That actually is a remaster, yes, because the core game in itself is pretty much unchanged, but just it's had a bit of an upgrade in the visual fidelity. But
as well as, I think, what is it called? The Call of Duty Warfare Remastered, I think it was. Yeah, that's another one that was So
and Spyro,
some of those Call of Duty games,
So we've had a fair few. I mean, it does look like the PlayStation's had a fair few more than the Xbox, I'd say. You've had like Medieval, you've had Crash and Spyro on all systems. To be fair, I mean originally PlayStation, but but no, I mean and like you said, like is it a nostalgia thing? Is it why these games have been made? I mean, you could argue it's like I said, they're cheaper to remaster again than to create a whole new game for real. Obviously nostalgia sells, because prats like me will buy anything that's old and nostalgic. Won't even hesitate to splash money on old games.
Do you see any old games that have not been remastered or remade yet coming to next gen?
Everything on the friggin' Dreamcast. I don't know what Sega's doing. Sega's in the toilet. Let's not kid us. They're in enormous trouble right now. They've sold off all their arcades. They've sold Sammy's holding sort of a bunch of assets that belong to Sega.
Many rumors were going around out there of Microsoft actually trying to purchase Sega, but I don't think that's going to fly. That's not going to happen. But
but like a good way for them to get themselves out of trouble and to make some bloody money. Well, you could argue the fact is that the Dreamcast Mini is almost guaranteed.
Yeah,
almost guaranteed. The runaway success of the Mega Drive Classic. I mean, like even Sega were like, bloody hell, we didn't know this was going to be this big. So that could be one reason, but I really don't know why they're not porting everything to the friggin' Switch. If they, release Shenmue on the Switch, release, oh my god, Blue Stinger, but basically bring the entire freaking back catalogue of Dreamcast games onto Switch.
That whole library.
I'll bring them. I'll buy them all. I'd love to play Crazy Taxi on the move. That'd be incredible. Yeah, Soul Calibur.
Well, right now the subscription services are the NES and the Super NES.
Yeah,
and now they're trickling out more games from the NES era, Super NES era, I should say. But yeah, I mean Sega. I mean, to do the same would be helpful in helping them survive. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, sure they've got something in the pipeline, but yeah, just remaster a bunch of those Dreamcast games. And god damn it, the Saturn, there are a handful of really good games, and we've only seen like one remaster, that being Panzer Dragoon. That's more of a remake, I think. But anyway, there's been an HD version of Panzer Dragoon come out on the Switch and other consoles. Mm-hmm. That's it. There are some other games that, bloody hell, I'd love to play Sega Rally 2 on a modern machine. That'd be brilliant.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there are so many games just ripe for a remaster.
Yeah.
And like Sega's work with M2. M2 do amazing emulation stroke remastering, like getting old games to work 99.9% accurate on modern hardware. Like, buy M2 and then get them to work on your freaking 3D material and just, I'd buy all of it.
Yeah.
That's by the by. But I mean, there's so many. So I mean, like basically anything from like PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64, GameCube games. I mean, there's so much to exploit there.
Whatever they can make money on. I mean, that's for sure.
I mean, they could. I again, like we keep saying this about like Nintendo. They're sitting on this bloody gold mine of stuff, and they just don't know what to do with it. And they keep proving it again. Like you said, the Switch Online, NES and SNES. It's a joke.
Yeah.
We're 3 years into that now? 2-3 years of no. So we're entering the third year now of Switch Online.
And they put one game out here, one game out there, one game out here. Yeah.
So in 3 years, there's like 40 games in total if you take in, or something like that. There's not very many. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyway, but
and for Xbox too, there was a lot of talk about the Banjo-Kazooie games being remastered and also a new one coming as well.
Yeah, let's talk of a new one. I mean, a remaster they don't need because they've got Rare Replay, and once you've upscaled an N64 game, you don't have to upscale it anymore. Like, Banjo in 1080 will look the same as Banjo in 4K. There's nowhere to go with those textures from the N64, so you'd have to do a remaster or like a full-on remake for that. But but yeah, what about you? What would you like to see a remaster or a remake of?
Oh goodness. Well, because I'm more of a kind of not as much of a retro guy as you are, but I don't know. I'd like to see like the first Uncharted game remastered, the first one. Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe some of the. I'm trying to think of it now. Some of the older Call of Duties, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe like Advanced Warfare from the early PS4 era.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that remastered.
Maybe. A remaster of a remaster.
Yeah. Well,
blimey.
Well, Advanced Warfare has never been
okay, no, that one. Oh, that's the one in the future. That was good,
yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh, on a related note, the new Call of Duty, the new in
Black
quote
Ops,
marks,
Cold War,
I can't put enough quote marks around the word "new" on that. The new Call of Duty is £55 on the PS4 and Xbox Series One SX.
Like Xbox Series X, or for you, Dan, the new Xbox.
No, not the new, the old new Xbox and the PS4.
The Xbox One, the Xbox One.
Don't get mad at me because Microsoft can't name a console. Don't get angry at me. It's not my fault they're absolutely inept at everything they do.
So you're saying like £55, huh?
Yeah, for a which is for the same game. Bonkers! Like 50 quid is too much for Call of Duty. 55 is an insult. But yeah, that was very surprising. But no, there are endless endless games ripe for just straight up re-release emulation, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo haven't
the Resident Evil games, for example. Yeah,
I guess
what they did earlier this year. Yeah,
yeah. So
2 and 3.
So that's fully a remake. They're awesome. Like 2 and 3 remakes are good. Again, there's talk of 4. Don't. You can only damage 4. 4 can't be any better. Yeah.
How about remastering like the Evil Within series? That would be cool.
Yeah, again, but it'd just be that a bit prettier. That'd be good. Yeah, so obviously having a bundle, a box, a set of 1 and 2, even though two's really bad.
Yeah.
What is in everyone else? What do you think? I thought 2 was really bad. I couldn't finish it. I got really, really, really bored. 1's excellent because 1 is Resident Evil 4.5. The Evil Within is a cracking game, but 2 was absolute trash.
And the current one, the Resident Evil 7, it's amazing. Yeah, especially in VR.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
and then
and then 8's coming out early next year, so that'll be
it's going to be good. But yeah, there's oh my god, there's so much left to do on in terms of remasters.
Yeah.
But and it's weird how that generation's kind of been passed over. The whole where am I going? Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube era, and original Xbox era. It's kind of been passed over in terms of remakes. There's so much stuff that could be brought out now.
Yeah.
In terms of GameCube, we've had like Mario Sunshine remastered, and that's about it, right? I can't think of anything else that's been redone. I'd love
the Wipeout series also. The Wipeout when it comes to the racing games.
Yeah. We talked a while ago about like Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Why can't we have an HD, a remaster of 1 and 2 on the Switch? That'd be amazing. I'd buy that straight away. I'd love that. Yeah. You know. A really good remake was Metroid Prime 2 Samus Return from the 3DS. That was excellent. And that's ready to come to Switch as well. Port that to Switch. I'd buy it again. It'd be amazing. Yeah.
Some other shooters like the Metro series would be interesting too, I think. Yeah.
But so that I mean they had a remaster, so PS3 to PS4 remaster, they had that, and then Exodus was a whole new game for the PS4, so that's a bit juicier, isn't it? But I've got Exodus. I haven't played it yet, actually.
Yeah.
But the Metro
good, and the DLC is pretty good too. Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably get around to that. I need something to play now that I've finished Judgment, and I don't have to play 13. I'll have to play something else in the meantime.
Well, you're going to play it when when you update with all the patches and everything. You're going to play 13 again.
The patches have got to come out yet. They're still not. Like I said this thing this morning. Like they were like we're not ready. They blamed it on COVID and working from home and stuff. It's funny that
there have been some patches already. But
okay.
Yeah. Because my one of my followers on Twitter said the patches they're out and they kind of solved a lot of the issues. That, were a big problem with the release. So anyway,
but,
all right,
yeah, good stuff.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the new and upcoming video game releases via Metacritic for the week of November 16th through the 22nd. Dan, we only have 3 games this week. Thank goodness. Last week we had 20 games.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this week for PC on November 17th, Halo 4 is coming. So it is part of the Master Chief Collection. So I've played all of these games already, so I'm not going to be playing it on PC. But a lot of people that haven't played it, and that's one thing I wanted to add to the topic of the show we were talking about with remasters. The good thing about all these remasters is there's a lot of people that have never played those games before, so to have an enhanced version of it would be really cool. So So like Halo 4 on PC. So if you've never played Halo 4, give it a try. Next up, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity for the Nintendo Switch. So it comes out on November 20th. So, see Hyrule 100 years before the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game and experience the events of the Great Calamity. Join the struggle that brought Hyrule to its knees. Learn more about Zelda, the four champions, the King of Hyrule, and more through dramatic cutscenes as they try to save the kingdom from calamity. The Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game is the only way to firsthand see what happened 100 years ago. Battle hordes of Hyrule's most formidable foes, from barbaric bokoblins, I think that's how you pronounce it, bokoblins, not goblins, but bokoblins, to towering Lynels. Ganon's troops have emerged in droves, so playable heroes like Link, Zelda, and more must use their distinct abilities to carve through hundreds of enemies to save Hyrule from the impending calamity. So, yeah, it's been a while since I played Breath of the Wild, so I think this would be really interesting. So, and it's probably going to sell really well, especially out here in Japan, for sure.
People are freaking desperate for Zelda content, so it will sell by the bazillions.
Yeah. Blah. And last up, Katamari Damacy Reroll comes out on November 20th for PS4 and Xbox One.
Wow.
So, yeah.
that came out on the Switch like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's coming out now for PS4, Xbox One, and PC also. It's also on PC and Switch.
Hell of a game.
The stop-at-nothing pushing prince is back and ready to re-roll. When the king of all cosmos accidentally destroys all the stars in the sky, he orders you, his pint-sized princely son, to put the twinkle back in the heavens above. So, Katamari Damacy Reroll. Yep.
Brilliant.
So, those three games, Halo 4, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and Katamari Damacy Reroll. Dan, which one are you interested in this week? For me, it would be Hyrule Warriors. So, like I said, it's been like about a year since I played Breath of the Wild. So, to see what happens 100 years before would be quite interesting. And get back into that Zelda lore again. How about you?
I'd play Katamari again, because Katamari is really, really good. I can't get my head around that. How that's out now? I don't understand that. I'll have to research that, because that's really weird.
Yeah, for PS4 and Xbox One, yeah. So
yeah. You'd think they'd do it all at the same time, wouldn't you? You'd think, having staggered release. Yeah. Speaking of staggered release, the Switch version of 13 isn't out until spring next year, which is fairly obvious why. Weird. Yeah, that just fell off the pre-order page. It's like you can't have it anymore. Next year you can have it.
That's weird. Yeah.
That is weird. That's probably weird. Yeah.
Huh. So only 3 games this week. So kind of a slow week. For that. So, Alrighty. Okay. So before we conclude the episode today, I want to let everybody know where you can find me on social media. On social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at expat_2020, and on my YouTube channel, Expat 2020 Gaming, where you can see my latest videos related to new game releases, game trailer impressions, as well as this podcast. You can also find me on Facebook at Expat 2020, and I have a Discord server named the Expat 2020 Arena, with a great community where all of you are welcome to join and support other content creators, discuss anything and everything related to video games, promote your live streaming, as well as leave questions and comments for the podcast. Finally, I'm a live streamer and a Twitch affiliate, and you can catch my live streams on twitch.tv/expat2020, as well as on my website for content creation at expat2020.live. And so, Dan, I finished... I did a 5-hour live stream last Sunday to finish Dead Space 2. And it was fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Love that game. Yeah. That's another series that, I don't know. What do you think? A remaster of 1 and 2.
Gotta be right. I'd be very surprised if, halfway through the PS5 lifespan, they don't go, hey, by the way, here's 1, 2, and 3. 3 thrown in, just why not? But I think that'd be really good. Yeah, that needs a remaster because we've not seen it since the PS3 days. So
yeah. And then bring us a Dead Space 4. Oh, yeah, I'd love it. Yeah. Okay, so Dan, what's going on for you this week, and where can the listeners find you on social media?
Well, I would have been streaming tonight, but I would have been streaming. I am on Twitch as Press Start to Game, all one word, Press Start to Game. But I don't stream very much. But as soon as 13's in a workable, usable condition, I'll be streaming that on Twitch. Other times, awesome. I faff around on YouTube and on same name on YouTube and at the Center for Computing History. We had a couple of good live streams last weekend. I think there might still be, if you go to the Twitch channel for, if you go to Twitch and look for the Center for Computing History Streamathon, we did a charity stream because we got flooded. So we did a charity stream. And last week, Adrian and I, we did a video game history tour kind of thing about food-based video games, which is quite fun. And awesome. Then the three of us, Adrian, Kat, and I, we had it was a 90s sleepover stream. So to end the weekend between 10 p.m. and midnight, we had a little 2-hour stream where we played a bunch of old games, Spectrum and PlayStation, and had a chat with some of our Zoom buddies. But so if awesome. You want to check those out, go to the Center for Computing History Twitch channel, and it's probably been our save videos. But that's all I've got to say.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, and to end the show today, our indie recording artist spotlight for the week, the indie pop musical duo named ORKAS.
Oh.
From their album's title song called Invincible.
Okay.
So I'm your host, Expat 2020, along with my co-host Dan. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and we hope to see you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.